Thank you. Thank you very much. It's very exciting. It's crazy. Look, if you're at home, I'm as shocked as you are that I'm here. So, I've come to this building for a long time, and so it's unreal to be here at this Saturday Night Live, which is crazy. It's all right there. My name is Bargatze. I am from Tennessee. I'm from the 1900s. And I just think you got to say it. Like, the world is so future now, and I feel in the way of it. Hotels are futuristic. Like, you go, you take a shower, the shower's enclosed, but now a lot of hotels have half a glass, and water gets on the floor, and that's the future. That's what they want, and I would like a whole glass. They do half a glass because I'm still alive, so they're like, they don't want to hear me going, where's the glass at? So they do half a glass, and then the future, the floors are always wet. Every floor. I mean, I'm 44. My daughter's 11. When she's my age, it will be 2057. I don't even believe that's a real year. My movies didn't go that high in fake years. How am I going to talk to someone from 2057? I have more in common with a pilgrim. I saw too much old-timey stuff. I'm pre-internet. I mean, we go to a county fair, Wilson County Fair, and this is in Tennessee, if you're wondering. And we would go there. Fairs, I don't know how they're still open, but I don't think the government knows about them. I don't know. We ride these rides that were on the interstate an hour ago. So my dad is a magician, if you don't know, and we would go watch him perform. This is the 80s. So we'd go watch him. My dad's doing magic. Right next to him, they had donkeys jumping off a high dive into a pool. So pretty tough to keep people's attention when my dad is like, is this your card? And everybody's like, hold on, this donkey's about to jump off this high dive. That's something you don't think you want to see till it's up there. And I use the word jump very loosely. Yeah, these donkeys are falling off this high dive, but can't put that on the sign, you know? You gonna watch a donkey fall off a high dive? You're like, no. What if he jumped? Well, at least he's into it. Just so you know, PETA shut that down. And, yeah. And that was one everybody was like, we get that one. There's another one PETA had to shut down. So this is also in the 80s. Pre-internet. You could fight an orangutan. You could fist fight an orangutan. This was offered. We didn't have a lot going on. This is what we had to do. And so orangutan would be in a boxing ring with boxing gloves on, and it would stand like this. And then a guy would pay $5. It wasn't for free. You would pay, and then he'd go in there, and this orangutan would just knock this dude out. Because we didn't have the internet to look up how strong's an orangutan. So, yeah, it was, it was all word of mouth back then. You had to meet a guy that just fought an orangutan. And you're like, are they strong? You're like, yeah, dude. But the arms are skinny. I know. That's what I thought as well. That strength comes from somewhere. Look, if you think I'm old, there's people older than me still around. Yeah. That's crazy. It's crazy. Walking around. People from the 30s. My great Aunt Helen, from the 30s. She's deaf. They didn't know she was deaf until she was 9 years old. That's how long it took them to figure it. Deaf, one of the easier ones to figure out. And the doctors were baffled as they smoked in her face. And they're like, I don't know. She's rude, I'll tell you that. My parents are getting older. So my mom, we had her go pick up our daughter recently at a friend's house, and I texted her the address. She drove to the wrong house. So she knocked on the door, another grandmother answered. Well, this is not good. This is like two dogs seeing each other through a fence. They're gonna be there for a while, So my mom, she knocks on the door. The grandmother, my mom goes, is my granddaughter in there? And that lady goes, I have 3 grandsons, so no solution. Just 2 grandmothers, do you have stuff? I have stuff too. They talked for 30 minutes. It's a wrong door. I had to go get my daughter, then find my mom. My dad, too. My dad has surgery 8 times a year, probably. And he loves it. He loves it. He had surgery because he was addicted to Afrin, the nose spray. Look, I've been addicted to Afrin, the nose spray. If you don't know what it is, I would honestly tell you not to get involved. It's one of the best things I've ever been part of. Solves everything immediately. When I was on it too, my wife she'd be like, "What's that?" No, she hear one puff. What's that? I go, "I ain't gonna live like this. I ain't worked this hard not to do effort in my own home." So, my dad goes to the doctor, and they were like, "Do you use Afrin?" And he goes, "No." And the doctor was like, "I can see that you use it. I was just saying that." He goes, "How long have you been using it?" My dad said 5 years, which is a lie. But my mom was there, and she goes, "How about 45 years?" That's how long he's used it, 45 years. The back of the box says no more than 3 days. There's not a medicine on earth that tells you to give it a good 45-year run. That's why I get nervous as I get older, because I am already not smart, and I'm in my prime right now. I don't read any books. I don't do it, and I think that matters. I do think that matters. Reading, I believe, is the key to smart. That's what I've always said, and I don't do it because every book is just the most words. It doesn't let up. I mean, every page is more work. It's like, what are you talking about there? Put some blank pages in there. Let me get my head above water for 2 seconds. I did. Thank you. This is a reading joke. I want to learn more about history because I don't know anything, and so I'm trying to figure it out. I can tell I don't know anything about history because every history movie I watch on the edge of my seat. What is gonna happen? I don't know. I watched the movie Pearl Harbor, and I was as surprised as they were. Just crazy. All right, we've got a great show for you tonight. Foo Fighters are here, so stick around and we'll be right back. Iraq 3 times. Twice we did comedy for the troops. The 3rd time was vacation. The 3rd time, I just wanted to see it. And it is nice. They have 1 tree. It's gorgeous. So you wait in line for that, and then you fight your way back to the plane. So it's like a hiking trip of sorts. When we did comedy for the troops, we'd go over there, and they would have a lot of small bases, where they only have 40 troops at these bases. So they would have a lot of makeshift stuff for these guys, like their bathrooms. They had pipes dug in the ground, and that's what they would pee into. And then if they did they had a bag. They called it a wag bag. So it was very awkward. I went up to a soldier. I go, "Where's your restroom at?" And he was like, "You got to go number 1 or number 2. It's like, "Well, I don't really see how that's your business." And to be honest, I might mix it up. So
Why don't you let me decide, all right? We have barely made eye contact. I got to go to Bahrain, too, which I learned was a country when I got there. I thought it was the guy we were meeting, and it was... When you go to Bahrain, you go and you stay on an army base, but there you can actually leave the base and go out to the city. So they tell you, they're like, look, if you go out there, it's safe, just don't draw attention to yourself. So they were like, don't wear American t-shirts. And I was like, all right, like that's fine, no American t-shirts. So what are you gonna do about the white on my skin? That's gonna be more of a problem. I don't want him to come up to me like, excuse me, are you Muslim? Southern Muslim. 3 times. Twice we did comedy for the troops. The 3rd time was vacation. The 3rd time, I just wanted to see it. And it is nice. They have 1 tree. It's gorgeous. So you wait in line for that, and then you fight your way back to the plane. So it's like a hiking trip of sorts. When we did comedy for the troops, we'd go over there, and they would have a lot of like small bases, where they only have like 40 troops at these bases. So they would have like a lot of makeshift stuff for these guys, like their bathrooms. They had pipes dug in the ground, and that's what they would pee into. And then if they did the other, they had a bag. They called it a wag bag. So it was very awkward. Like I went up to a soldier, I go, where's your restroom at? And he was like, you gotta go number 1 or number 2. It's like, well, I don't really see how that's your business. And to be honest, I might mix it up. So why don't you let me decide, all right? We have barely made eye contact. I got to go to Bahrain, too, which I learned was a country when I got there. I thought it was the guy we were meeting, and it was... When you go to Bahrain, you go and you stay on an army base, but there you can actually leave the base and go out to the city. So they tell you, they're like, look, if you go out there, it's safe, just don't draw attention to yourself. So they were like, don't wear American t-shirts. And I was like, all right, like that's fine, no American t-shirts. So what are you gonna do about the white on my skin? That's gonna be more of a problem. I don't want him to come up to me like, excuse me, are you Muslim? Southern Muslim, actually. Thank you everybody, unbelievable. So I'm Nate, pretty lazy guy. I realized how lazy I was recently. I was watching a football game and I was sitting on my couch and I was gonna get something to drink. Right when I get up to go, one team kicked off to the other team. Before I could get back, they ran a 100-yard kickoff return and I missed it. Like the guy ran 100 yards before I could get 3 to maybe 4 yards. That guy also had 11 people really trying not to let him run 100 yards. I had nobody. No one cared what I was doing. When you watch sporting events too, I feel like the commercials that they have, they're like advertising towards like professional athletes. Like they have like running shoes. They're like, oh, you should buy these shoes. Then it shows like an NFL player like running with a tire tied to his back. And you're like, all right, well, how do those shoes look with jeans and sitting down? Because that's how I will be using them. I got to get tire and a rope. That's a lot. That's a lot you're asking. Someone gave me an Under Armour shirt. Do you know those? It's like skin tight. Like it just shows the worst parts of your body. I look better without a shirt on than with that shirt on. Just brutal. You know, like in plastic surgery, how they draw like markers on you and stuff? Like they should just put you in that shirt and be like, obviously you can see where we're gonna go after the target areas. I always tell people I gotta get back in shape, but I mean, I've never been in shape. So most people are like, if I can get back to my 20s, I would have to go back to 7. Like if I could get back to when I was 7, I was killing it. For me, a good workout would be walking to McDonald's would be a great start. You know, maybe stand up and eat it, see if that does something. Instead, I ordered the P90X videos, thought I could do that. You know, never worked out a day in my life, so let's do what the Navy SEALs do. I did not do it. You know what made me order it? Like, you know in the commercial, they show like a before body and then an after body? I was like blown away by the before body. I thought that's what you get to look like. I was like, that guy looks great. Then I saw the after body and I was like, does the before body guy have a DVD? Because that guy looks more my speed, Like, what did he do to get to that? And I'll just do that. Thank you. No, come on. Thank you, guys. I signed up for a mixed martial arts class as well. Made it one day. That's it. Like, they want you, it's about fighting is what that class is about. I thought it was like some guys will maybe do like push-ups or something. The first day I go in, they just pair me up with some 16-year-old kid that wants to fight for a living and wasn't raised by human people. And they're like, why don't y'all just go at it? And I was like, well, I think it's because we have different goals. Maybe that's why we should not go at it. I believe he's training for the Hunger Games. I just want you to not be able to see my nipples through my shirt. So, yeah, levels. That MMA is a great way to protect yourself, though. I watched, here's another way, if you don't know how to fight. I watched a thing on 60 Minutes. They did this piece about buying tigers. Like, you can buy, like, if you guys want a tiger, I could get you in touch with a guy that can give you a pretty sweet deal on a tiger. 60 Minutes did this whole undercover report, and they filmed, like, where this guy keeps tigers, and then they interviewed him afterwards. They're like, hey, do you think it's too easy to buy a tiger in this country? And he was like, yeah, sadly it is. It's way too easy. And I was like, that was my favorite part, Like, that shows why America's the best. I didn't even know you could buy tigers before I watched this. I would have been embarrassed to ask. And then I watched it, and I was like, I don't really have to jump through hoops if I want to buy a tiger. It's not an all-day thing. It's an hour. I'll be right back with our tiger. And everybody wants to get rid of guns, and what makes me nervous is, like, if you took away guns from people, those are the exact same people that will buy tigers. And that's going to be a much bigger problem. You're probably going to be like, look, here's your gun back. And they're like, no, I'm good. My tiger is way better than my gun. My gun missed all the time. My tiger rarely misses. Even if he does miss, even if he does miss, it's just for a second. It's never long. Like if some guy... My dad is a magician. He's done that my entire life. He was a clown at the very beginning, just in case you're like, how do you get into something like that? It goes clown and magic. There's 2 steps. You can take them in either order. I was born, he was a clown. It was never weird to me. I thought everybody's dad was a clown. My first memory of my life is I was 5 years old, and I remember my mom walked me out to the front yard, and my dad pulled up. We had this old red Mazda. He's dressed as a clown. That doesn't even faze me. That's just how he left. How else would he come home? And the Easter Bunny was in the passenger seat. That's the first thing that I remember to my life. If you want to know how you get into comedy, that's a pretty good nudge. And I remember it didn't fit, the Easter Bunny head didn't fit in the car, like he couldn't sit normal, so his head was bent to the side. And I remember he had his seatbelt on, and he's just like, and I was like, I like to think about all the other people that saw that just in the car next to him, just at a red light. You're like, I didn't even know they hung out like that. So me and my dad, he just does magic now, and he's very good at what he does. He's very funny, and we do shows together. So one time we did this show. Magicians have conventions where they get together, and they're buy and sell tricks, and they give a lecture, and they do this big show. So this guy was putting one together in Des Moines, Iowa, which is the birthplace of magic, something a lot of people don't know. And it's not, but it does sound like it could be. I don't know why. I said that in Des Moines, and people are like, I think I already knew that. They're like, yeah, he's right. So this guy calls me, he's like, your dad's performing this year, so we want you to come down, and we're gonna make you appear out of a magic trick. I'm gonna come out, I'm gonna surprise my dad, surprise the audience, everybody will go crazy, and then I'll do 5 minutes of stand-up, and that will end the show. He's like, it's gonna be like a big deal. And I was like, all right, I agreed to it. I fly to Des Moines, I'm hiding, I'm in my room, no one knows I'm there. The show starts, my dad's out performing, I climb in a box backstage.
When my dad gets done performing, they ask him to stay and help. They push the box out. The trick is, the guy is a very pretty lady assistant. She walks around, shows the box is empty, and then she climbs in. Normally it just falls apart, and then she disappears. But now it falls apart, and it's me, and I pop out. And you have to come out big. I don't know if you've ever appeared out of a magic trick, but if you do, you can't just be like, how you doing? You know, like, it's gotta be a big grand, like, can you believe it? And I look at my dad, his face is so surprised, he had no idea. But his eyes are just like, why would you ever do this? And I was like, is this not a good time to visit you? The audience is clapping, but they're not going that crazy. Like, the clapping starts dying down, and as I'm standing there, it's like hitting me that I was like, I don't think they know who we are. That guy told me they did, and they don't. They don't know that's my dad. They don't know I'm a comedian. This looks like the stupidest trick they've ever seen. It doesn't make sense. Like, they're like, a pretty girl goes in, then just a whatever dude pops out. That's your trick? Your trick is backwards, sir. It's backwards. And now I gotta do comedy, but they don't know I'm a comedian, so I get a microphone. They're like, he's gonna talk to us now? How long is this trick? And when you do comedy in front of people not expecting comedy, it does not come off as comedy. It sounds like a mean speech. They were just like, get back in the box. Where's the girl? Is she?
Some people. And I'm married, and me and my wife were in Nashville last summer, and we went out on the lake with some of our friends, and we were floating around in the water, and there was a guy in a boat, like right next to us, and my wife was like, oh, that's my ex-boyfriend in that boat. I didn't know who he was. She didn't have to say anything at all. She was just basically like, are you having fun? Because I would like to put a stop to that and make you stare at this guy the rest of the day. So I'm staring at him, and then I look at her, and she's staring at him, and I feel like she's staring at him to see what her life would be like if she didn't marry me. So I started staring at him because I was like, I'm gonna see what my life would be like if I didn't marry her, you know? We were both putting so much pressure on this guy, and we have a daughter. We have a 3-year-old daughter, and we took her to Disney World, and I made the mistake of like telling my friends. They were just like, I don't know why you're taking her, you know, just wasting money. She's not gonna remember it. And it's like, it's exciting. Like she believes in Minnie Mouse. Like it's fun to see her get excited. Like, what should I do? Should I just lock her in a closet and be like, do you remember yesterday? No? Well, until you start remembering things, I'm not gonna waste any of my money on you, you know? I love coming here to Montreal. I've been here a few times. Last time I was here, had a bit of a too much of a good time. Is that how you should say it? I was staying here at the hotel, got super drunk, and locked myself out of my hotel room completely naked. And I remember getting all the way out, and then I hear the door shut, which is the most sobering noise I've ever heard in my entire life. So I'm standing there, I'm like, what are you gonna do? And I was like on the 7th floor, and I was like, oh, there's a window. I'll just jump out of that, you know? That's easier than talking to my wife about this. But then I looked to the left, and there was a cleaning lady, and she's just staring at me. And I'm just like, what are you doing here? And you know why she's there? Because it's like 11 a.m. That's why she's there. That's how far in the day it was. And I looked at her just like, you know, what are you gonna do? Like, this happens to the best of us, right? And she was like, doesn't, it's never happened before. And I don't even have, like, the worst, I don't have like a body either that's like, you're welcome. You know what I mean? Like I did her a favor. I was like, come on, it's your lucky day, all right? Take it in. I do nothing to try to lose weight. I'm just kind of riding it out, seeing here's where we're at right now. What I've started doing, though, is I tell people I used to weigh 300 pounds because, yeah, I'm a pretty dumb guy. Just, I think it's pretty obvious. And it's, I think I've thought about like time travel. Like if I went back in time, knowing everything I know now, I don't think I would make a difference. I don't think you would even hear about it. If I went back to the 20s and I like saw some guy on like an old phone, I'd be like, hey, eventually they have phones you just carry in your pocket. And he'd be like, yeah, how do they do it? It's like, you know, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how they're doing it. It's like a satellite or something. And they'd be like, what's a satellite? Well, I shouldn't have even brought that up then. It's like a round metal dish or something that's got to go pretty high in the air. I honestly don't think I could prove I'm from the future. I mean, they would want some proof, you know? Who's the next president? Oh boy. Thank you guys so much.
We're at a Holiday Inn Express. So the breakfast buffet there is where they have the cereal where you turn the knob and like 4 pieces fall out. It's like how you feed a cat for a long weekend, you know? And you're like, that's enough. They had batter and syrup. And so you pour they had the waffle iron where you make it yourself. So you pour the batter on the waffle iron, you shut it, you turn it over, it locks, it cooks for 2 minutes, you turn it over, you open it, half the waffle comes off, half stays forever. That's how you eat a waffle. So I'm with my buddy of mine that's my age. So we go through, he's in front of me, not really talking or anything, just going through. He gets to it, it's batter and syrup, they're in clear containers. They're not labeled, but they're in clear containers. He gets the syrup and starts pouring it on the waffle iron. And I'm not even stopping him because he's not doing it where he's going, I've never done that. He's doing it where we're probably going to try it after. I mean, he's just like, you're like, dude, I can't wait to see what this guy's making. Like, he might know something that I don't know. He shuts it, turns it over, it cooks. He's like looking at us. We're like, I mean, the whole line's like, yeah, what is that going to be? And it makes black smoke is what it makes. Just, I mean, dark black smoke. Just starts filling the lobby. The manager comes over. He's like, what are you doing? He's like, I guess I poured the wrong one. These are not labeled. And the guy's like, they're in clear containers. Do you not know the difference of batter and syrup? And he's like, I bet it happens all the time. He goes, I've worked here my whole life and I've never seen this. So they threw the waffle iron. They just throw it away. That's what they have to do. Just throw it away. It's over. And now there's no waffle. I mean, we went from all about to get a waffle to it's upside down in a trash can. And then he just turns and looks, and it's just a line of people with that little foam plate. And just everybody's sad. I just hear someone in the back go like, I set my alarm for this. I mean, 2 guys didn't have shoes on. They go, I ran down with no shoes in that elevator. I thought I was going to miss it. When I first moved to New York, I was there 3 months from Nashville, Tennessee. And I remember one night we would do comedy, then we'd always go eat at like a diner really late. And one night I'm sitting, we go to this diner, I'm sitting in the back, and this guy walks in with his CNI dog, but he's like pretending to be blind. Like he's not, like I'm really good at telling when people are fake blind. And I was like, this guy's not blind, you know? He walked in, he made a big announcement to it. He's like, hey, I'm blind, everybody, I'm blind. And then he started just knocking everything off everybody's table. Like, oh, I wish I could see what's going on, but I can't because I'm blind. And he had a CNI dog, but he was leading the dog around the whole time. The dog never got in front of him. And I was like, it doesn't work like that, you know? Like, I don't think the dog builds confidence and is like, why don't you do some of these on your own? I just want to see, you know, if you get it, like, So I'm watching all this happen. I'm getting pretty upset about it, you know, because I just moved to the north from the south, so I still cared about people. And I was like, I gotta do something, you know. And so they kick him out. So they kick him out, and they get us outside. And I go out there. I look. I was like, all right, let me go, because in my Mayberry head, I think this is New York's biggest problem. And I go over to him. I was like, what's wrong with you, man? Like, why would you pretend to be blind? Like, how would you feel if you really were blind? And he was like, how would you feel if you were blind? I was like, what does that even mean? And then he sprayed me with mace. And he was so accurate.
You know, it wasn't like, oh, I hope I get him. It was both eyeballs. The bridge of my nose wasn't even wet. That's how good he was. And when you get sprayed with mace, you can see for a second. And I remember, like, I was like sitting there, and I look up, and he runs across the street, and he gets hit by a cab. For real, it wasn't bad. Like the cab, like just kind of bumped in. I mean, it wasn't good, but it wasn't, you know, like he's fine. I think he's fine. He could see after. No, I don't know. But he falls into the sidewalk. But I remember like thinking, I was like, I saw that cab. Like he definitely should have seen it, you know. So it was like, all right. I mean, odds are he's probably blind, you know. Maybe it's his first day or something. I don't know. Like maybe he's going through a lot, and I should have just backed up. Everybody asked too. They're like, oh, was it? They would one another. Like, would you get sprayed with pepper spray or mace? And it's like, I don't know what it was. What kind of life are you living if you could tell the difference? If I knew, it was something. I don't know. Could have been hairspray. I don't know. What do you? The best wedding I've ever been to was my cousin's wedding. It was a real redneck affair. It was right outside Louisville, Kentucky, where my parents are from. And my cousin's name is Tuesday, which is a good start. The invitation said, Tuesday's getting married, rehearsals Friday, wedding Saturday. People were like, we gotta be there Monday for this wedding? How long is this wedding? It's a week? We get there, I'm wearing a button-down shirt, khaki pants, nothing crazy. I'm wildly overdressed. I look like I work there. Everybody else just has a football or basketball jersey on. My uncle, his daughters get married. He has his tuxedo jacket, pants, cummerbund, bow tie, no shirt. They forgot his shirt, and instead of waiting to go get it, he was like, let's do it without it, right? Like that's... And he doesn't have a body that's like, that's cool, man. You know, he has a body that you're like, put your jacket on backwards, flip it around. Yeah. And then you see his back, and you're like, whew, all right, go back the regular way. Yeah, that's my fault. How's your back worse than your front? We go into the church. It's bride and groom. Looks like it's home and away. That's how many jerseys are in there. Guys are drinking beers in the church. Like, that's something I've never heard a pastor be like, guys, could we not drink alcohol in the church? And they're like, oh, didn't know this was the nice part of town. All right. The reception is next door, just at a lady's house, like in her backyard. Like, she doesn't do, it isn't like she's like, and I do receptions all the time. We were her one and only reception. So we walk over. They took a horse and buggy. The horse was the oldest horse I've ever seen. I thought it was a donkey. I thought they got a deal on a donkey. And the guy was like, this horse was in the Kentucky Derby. Like, the first one that they did? Is that Secretariat's father? How old is this horse, man? You know they lay down, right? So we walked. It took them 45 minutes. They went up a driveway and back down the next driveway. They're sweating, almost divorced by the time they get there. The reception, like I said, it's in her backyard. They put plywood on the grass, like side by side, to make a dance floor. We danced just to a radio station on a boombox. Just like 104.5. You would have to stop for weather and traffic updates. There was a punch bowl that was low to the ground, like on a low table. And so I was giving it to kids. I was trying to help out. And then someone was like, that's wine. And I gave it to so many kids. I don't know anything about wine, but I don't think they tell you to pour it into a bowl. Like, that's not... No one's ever like, let's get out of that box, get in a bowl. You know, let's let it breathe a little bit. Nothing was wrong with her. I'm just really busy right now. And... She was very sick. That was a joke, all right? That was a joke, and she would have loved that joke, so don't you worry about it. That's the type of humor she had. She was a rescue. It's not your labradoodle humor, all right? It's a little darker. She was a wonderful dog. We loved her, and her name was Annie. And the reason we got her was my sister worked at a vet, and people do put dogs down for no reason. So if someone brought a dog in that was fine, they just didn't want it. My sister couldn't do it, so she would walk the dog back and then just steal the dog.
Like, I don't know the laws on all of that, but I'm sure now people are finding out that their dog's still alive right now. Like, they're like... So, we got Annie. Annie was getting put down. She was a hunting dog, and she was terrible at it. And she was bred to be a hunting dog, and she was just like a misfit toy. They just didn't do it. She got shot once, and that's because the guy, like, he would be like doing target practice, and then she'd just walk in front of the targets, and he would like hit her, and he's like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "What are you doing?" She had no awareness about her, like the senses that dogs have. We had turkeys in our backyard once, and I let her out to go chase these turkeys. You know, retired hunting dog, figured that's fun. And we have a very normal backyard. It's not Yellowstone Park. You can see all of it at all times. I like push her out, and she just pees and then comes back in the house. Never sees the turkeys. And I'm just looking at her like, you didn't feel anything? Like nothing was going, like I sensed it as a human on the couch. I felt there was turkeys outside. You want to take just one lap around, see if... The guy used her a lot for duck hunting. So he would shoot a duck, she's supposed to run and go get it and then bring it back. So what I like to picture is he shoots the duck, she runs out, comes back, no duck. And she's like, I don't even know what we're doing. All right, I did not, a million things flew in the air when you shot that gun. And I'm supposed to know which one you hit. And the guy's just looking at her, and then she's like, you're not even the guy that I came out here with. Do you see, is there another guy out here by any chance? Our daughter would put birthday cone hats on her, and one slipped over her eye, and it was like that for 6 hours. I was just trying to see how long, like, how's it accidentally not coming off? And she was just going about her day, just eating, drinking, like, yeah, I can't see all that eye no more, all right? That's the cards I was dealt, and that's okay. And then I pulled it off of her, and she's like, oh, I didn't know you were a doctor. And I'm like, I am a doctor. Just two dumb animals talking to each other. So she had skin cancer, and she would get all these spots on her. So we kept getting them removed, but it was really starting to take a toll on her, and she was older. So we knew the day was close. And our daughter, she's 6 now, but she was 5 at the time. This was her first pet. She was best friends with this dog. And it was the first thing that was gonna die in her lifetime. So it's a lot of stuff to have to explain to a kid, you know? And so I was talking to my wife about, like, how are we gonna tell her? And at first I was like, let's just act like we didn't have a dog. 5-year-olds are smart, but if we stick together on this, and she comes home from school and is like, where's the dog? And we're like, what dog? Like, I've never seen a dog. Don't you think I would know if there was a dog? But I read an article about the long-term damage of that. It's pretty good. So I was just honest with her. And I set her down. I said, look, Annie's very sick, and she's older, and she's going to die soon. This happens, so just love her as much as you can right now. And she took it as good as a 5-year-old can take it. So the next day, I kind of told her again, you got to tell kids over and over again. I kind of kept telling her. I didn't want this to be a surprise. And then Annie surprised us by living 6 months longer. I mean, we were way off on when we thought she was going to die. But I already started telling my daughter I didn't want to stop and then have to start it again. So I just kept it up for 6 months. Every day I was like, she'll die. All right, she will die. She will die, I will die, your mom's dead. So finally the day was here, and our daughter was at school. And so my sister and my wife, they took Annie to go have to put her to sleep. And I went to go pick up our daughter to tell her. I've already been telling her. And so I picked her up, I told her, it was brutal, very sad. She took it as if this was the first she's heard about it. We get home, and my wife was like, how was it? Which is already a dumb, like, it was great. You know, I loved it. Can't wait for the next thing to die. Nice to say I told you so, you know. I told my wife it was terrible, you know. And then my wife goes, you didn't tell her that I did it, did you? And I was like, no, why would I say that? Like, I didn't even think about it, you know? Then I looked at her like, is that what you would have said, though? Would you have told her that I did it? You know how your dad's been talking with the dog dying? Well, he's finally had enough. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. That was exciting, you know? It felt good. All right. I'm from Tennessee originally. Yeah, so that's something. And I lived in New York though for 8 years. I'm on board with New York. I like it. I like the driving. It's like great. It's very intense. Everybody just honks at everybody nonstop, and that's how it should be everywhere. You know, like growing up in the South, no one honks their horn ever. People just sit at lights, and they're just like, if you want to go, I totally understand. I'm probably not going to go when I get up there. So, yeah, let's just wait it out, right? Shouldn't we just wait it out? I'm married. Been married for 7 years. We have a 10-month-old daughter now. So, yeah, it's getting pretty serious. So, looks like we're going to go through it. We were living in New York when my daughter was to be born, but she was not born in New York. She was born in Tennessee. We flew home and had her there. I did not want her to be born in New York. Like, I don't need her growing up thinking she's better than me. So, yeah. I told her, you start where we start, all right? It's a wild experience having a kid. I'm sure a lot of you guys know. I remember on the way to the hospital, like I told my wife, I was like, look, I don't want to see anything, all right? It's going to be, like, gross. I wished it was like the 50s when they didn't let men in the hospital. But it's not. Now doctors are just like, why don't you deliver the baby? Like, why don't you do most of it? They just pull the baby out, and they're like, here, cut the umbilical cord. But, like, I didn't take a class. They just act like I'm the guy that cuts umbilical cords at the hospital. I almost cut the wrong part, and then the guy's like, that's not right. I was like, oh, so maybe, you should jump in. You did go to doctor school for this. Why am I doing minor surgery right now? Then they just hand you your baby, and then they're like, all right, we'll see ya. And that's when you're like, well, I could use your help actually now. Like, I don't know how to do this. The first question I asked, I should have probably kept her, because I was like, how much do you feed it? I bet it's a lot. It sounded like I was buying a hamster at a pet store. The biggest message they tell you at the hospital, the number one, they're like really big on like, all right, whatever you do, let's just try not to shake this baby. That's literally like the number one goal. And they tell it to you, they're like, obviously you're gonna wanna shake the baby, but yeah, I mean, it would be so awesome if you just did not shake this baby. And then they showed me a video of a guy that was like, here's what I do instead of shaking my baby. Like he was like, I take walks, for instance. Like I walk 70 miles a day or something. I walk a lot. I've barely seen the baby. Then I signed a certificate like I was in kindergarten that said, all right, like I promise, I swear to God I won't shake the baby. Like quit asking me. I've never heard the word shake so much in my entire life. That's all we talked about. The first night we got her home, she was like crying for like 6 hours. You're just like confused, we're delirious, and I was like sitting there and I was like, wait, are we supposed to shake this baby? Is this when we do it? This seems like when you should do it. We didn't shake her, so it's all right. You guys don't have to call somebody. We have rocked her aggressively, but there's a pretty big difference in... She is 10 months old. She had to we had to go to a 9-month-old checkup, and she had to get a shot. It's very nerve-wracking when a baby gets a shot because they don't know what's going on. Like she's just looking, at us, being like, this day's going unbelievable. Like I don't even see what could go wrong. And then you're like looking at her like it's about to all go wrong. You have no idea. So she gets the shot, so we go to grab her, because we're ready for her to start crying, but she doesn't cry. Like, she's fine. And, the doctor was, surprised.
Like my wife is like happy, but she's like emotional. She's like, maybe this is a sign. Like she's going to be a strong girl, maybe like a powerful woman. And I was like, yeah, possibly. We should also make sure she might be a psycho. Like who doesn't cry when they get a shot? Who's just fine with that? I would cry if I got a shot, and she's already comfortable with pain at 9 months old. All I know, in 20 years, I'm either going to be telling her, look, we love you, and we're happy you've accomplished all of your dreams. Or I'm going to be on the news going, we love you, but you need to turn yourself in right now. Right now. All right, guys, thank you so much.
My dad is a magician. He's done that my entire life. He was a clown at the very beginning, just in case you're like, how do you get into something like that? It goes clown and magic. There's 2 steps. You can take them in either order. I was born, he was a clown. It was never weird to me. I thought everybody's dad was a clown. My first memory of my life is I was 5 years old, and I remember my mom walked me out to the front yard, and my dad pulled up with this old red Mazda. He's dressed as a clown. That doesn't even faze me. That's just how he left. How else would he come home? And the Easter Bunny was in the passenger seat. That's the first thing that I remember to my life. If you want to know how you get into comedy, that's a pretty good nudge. And I remember it didn't fit, the Easter Bunny head didn't fit in the car, like he couldn't sit normal, so his head was bent to the side. And I remember he had his seatbelt on, and he's just like, and I was like, I like to think about all the other people that saw that just in the car next to him, just at a red light. You're like, I didn't even know they hung out like that. So me and my dad, he just does magic now, and he's very good at what he does. He's very funny, and we do shows together. So one time we did this show. Magicians have conventions where they get together, and they're buy and sell tricks, and they give a lecture, and they do this big show. So this guy was putting one together in Des Moines, Iowa, which is the birthplace of magic, something a lot of people don't know. And it's not, but it does sound like it could be. I don't know why. I said that in Des Moines, and people are like, I think I already knew that. They're like, yeah, he's right. So this guy calls me, he's like, your dad's performing this year, so we want you to come down, and we're gonna make you appear out of a magic trick. I'm gonna come out, I'm gonna surprise my dad, surprise the audience, everybody will go crazy, and then I'll do 5 minutes of stand up, and that will end the show. He's like, it's gonna be like a big deal. And I was like, all right, I agreed to it. I fly to Des Moines, I'm hiding, I'm in my room, no one knows I'm there. The show starts, my dad's out performing, I climb in a box backstage. When my dad gets done performing, they ask him to stay and help, they push the box out. The trick is, the guy's a very pretty lady assistant, she walks around, shows the box is empty, and then she climbs in, normally it just falls apart, and then she disappears. But now it falls apart, and it's me, and I pop out. And you have to come out big. I don't know if you've ever appeared out of a magic trick, but if you do, you can't just be like, how you doing? Like, it's gotta be a big grand, like, can you believe it? And I look at my dad, his face is so surprised, he had no idea. But his eyes are just like, why would you ever do this? And I was like, is this not a good time to visit you? The audience is clapping, but they're not going that crazy. Like, the clapping starts dying down, and as I'm standing there, it's like hitting me. That I was like, I don't think they know who we are. That guy told me they did, and they don't. They don't know that's my dad. They don't know I'm a comedian. This looks like the stupidest trick they've ever seen. It doesn't make sense. Like, they're like, a pretty girl goes in, then just a whatever dude pops out. That's your trick? Your trick is backwards, sir. It's backwards. And now I gotta do comedy, but they don't know I'm a comedian, so I get a microphone. They're like, he's gonna talk to us now? How long is this trick? And when you do comedy in front of people not expecting comedy, it does not come off as comedy. It sounds like a mean speech. They were just like, get back in the box. Where's the girl? Is she fine? Can we hear from her? So I have a daughter, and My daughter's name is Harper. So a lot of people ask, they're like, "Oh, did you name her after Harper Lee, the author of To Kill a Mockingbird?" And I've never thought about an author a day in my life. So that never occurred to me. I mean, my middle name's Lee, and just never crossed my mind. I love having a kid. I love when kids cry. It's just innocent. I love how innocent it is. They cry over a tag in their shirt. And I mean, they're bald. Just, they don't like, it feels weird. And then, I mean, if you walk, you'd be like, is your house on fire? Like, I've never seen someone cry this much. It's over nothing. She's on her iPad a lot. That's the hard part. You got to get these kids off. Or you don't want technology all the time. She just sits there on her iPad. She wants to be a YouTuber, which as a comedian makes me furious. She watches all these kid YouTube videos, and now she makes her own videos. It's just her sitting there going, hey guys, what's going on? Click the links below, subscribe, leave a comment. None of this is anywhere but my phone. I got 90 hours of this, not on YouTube. Me and her mom are the only subscribers. Our daughter still sleeps in our bed too, and parents don't like that when you say it. They're like, you gotta keep them outside, don't look at them. It's my fault. So we had a kid late in life. We have one kid. And so we're kind of hitting all the sites. And when I get home, travel a bunch and I get home, I'd want us to all sleep in the bed together. And I've kind of built up a habit now, and it's happening. So it's tough, though, because kids don't know how to sleep. I mean, she makes king bed feel like a twin. I mean, I'm on the edge. When I sleep alone in a hotel, I have to sleep with my head on the nightstand. It's the only way I know how to go to bed. She gets sideways, upside down. If you woke up upside down tomorrow, you would go to the hospital. She's also apparently going through menopause because she's the hottest human being that's ever lived. I mean, I'm freezing at night. She just kicks all the covers off, and you're like, yeah, no, you go ahead. It's your bed. We're lucky to be in it. She's got to get out at some point, I don't know. She'll be 37 years old. Hey, can I get in the bed with you guys? Her kids are upstairs asleep in their bed. Her husband left a while ago. He ain't gonna put up with that. Our daughter is in 3rd grade, and for 1st grade, she started taking the bus. And it was the first time she ever took the bus. So if you know as a parent, you walk them to the bus stop. It's very fun. And so we got her on the bus. She went to school. At the end of the school day, someone from the school called my cell phone. They have my wife's cell phone. They have my cell phone. They called my cell phone, and she said, hey, do you know what bus number your daughter's supposed to be on? And I said, I'm her dad. As in, are you crazy? Like, I was like, this is how you thought you would get this information, was to call the dad? You saw a mom and dad's cell phone. You go, I bet the dad knows. I was like, do you have parents? Have you ever seen a family before? You thought, let's call the husband? Unless there's 2 husbands, you should never call a husband a day in your life. I would rather you ask a lady that doesn't know her. I think she could get to the bottom of it quicker than I can. I had to go get her. I go, all right, I'll come get her. Tell me the name of this school and I'll come get her. Where does she go? We're doing homework too. Our daughter's starting to bring it all home. Homework's fun. 1st and 2nd grade was awesome. 3rd grade, you're like, okay. They throw some stuff in, you're like, oh, all right. All right. It's okay. Learning it earlier than we used to, huh? I don't even know if that's true, but I have learned stuff from elementary homework, which is embarrassing. I'm 41. My daughter's 8. Nothing should ever come out of her mouth that I'm like, what? What was that? I learned when to use a or an in a sentence. I mean, I didn't know that there was a rule in play. I thought you felt it out, You just go, that feels right, and that's what you do. I do the same thing with a comma. I never known where a comma's supposed to go. If I feel a comma's coming, I try to get out of that sentence so bad. I mean, and if I can, I just put a comma and see if someone says something, If they're like, is that a comma? I'm like, isn't my comma button has been sticking to church growing up. I grew up in Tennessee, and we went to church. I actually tried to play basketball for my high school team, but I got cut. So I had to play for my church because the church cannot cut you. They have to let you play. They could cut you. You'd be pretty bad if they're like, look, we think you're good, but Jesus does not think you're that good.
He is our captain. So, church ball was a lot different because we played half court, no three-point line. We played on carpet. That's your first sign. It's not going to count. And they didn't even give us a basketball. We didn't have a basketball. We would just stand there and play on honesty. You'd be like, I just made it. It was like, oh, that's a good shot. You're really good. I stole it. I forgive you for stealing it. It was moral points. It counts later. Are y'all gonna go watch the Nathan's hot dog eating contest? Did everybody get their tickets for that? It's exciting. I think it's free anyway, but I remember the first time I saw the hot dog eating contest. The first time I saw it, you would see a lot of skinny people, and then they would show like a huge fat guy. So I was like, all right, you know, obviously he's gonna win. He probably ate on the way here. But he does not win. Kobayashi or Joey Chestnut, two very in-shape guys. So that means fat people are not even good at what they're good at. Who would have thought? Huh? Who would have? I'm married, and that is whatever, but you do it. You know what marriage is like? Marriage is like, you ever go to a concert and you see a mosh pit, and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna go get in that mosh pit. But then once you get in it, you're like, I do not want to be in this mosh pit. At all. I am gonna leave and go get some beer, then the mosh pit's like, hey, you drank last night. You're like, all right, mosh pit, why don't you get off my back? And
I remember I would fall out of a bunk bed. I slept in a bunk bed. I was on the top bunk, and I would get over a railing and just fall 6 feet to the ground and just land. I mean, you don't catch yourself. It's just whatever hits first. All your body weight just lands on your head. I got a full-blown concussion. I'm crying. My parents are like, just go back to a deep sleep for 7 hours. I've had 3 concussions in my life, and none of them because of sports. Just living life, man, you know? Stuff happens to your head. What are you gonna do? One was in high school. I got pushed into a wall head first, and it took them 3 class periods to figure out I had a concussion. That's how much I was bringing to the table. I mean, 2 teachers didn't even notice, and the third one was like, he wasn't facing forward, and that's when I realized he's one of the better facer forwards I've ever had. So I knew. My biggest concussion was when I was 12 years old. I fell down a cliff. So I grew up in Old Hickory, Tennessee, and we used to climb down this cliff into Old Hickory Lake, and we'd done it a ton of times. And so one day I slip and fall. So my friend that I'm with, he goes and gets my mom. There was a guy fishing in a boat down in the lake, and so he sees me, and he gets me into the boat. And then he takes me over to some stairs, which he had to be like, why didn't he just use these stairs? I mean, they were right next to that cliff. Like, it didn't even make sense. There was 2 guys at the bottom of the steps, and he goes, hey, this kid fell. Can you carry him up? So they carry me up, and my mom's in an ambulance in her pajamas. My dad, who I think everybody knows now is a magician, and he's doing a show in a full tuxedo. So when they get to the hospital, the doctor starts talking to my parents. I mean, my mom looks homeless. My dad's in a tuxedo. It looks like they're divorced and someone's not paying child support.
Church growing up. I grew up in Tennessee, and we went to church. I actually tried to play basketball for my high school team, but I got cut. So I had to play for my church because the church cannot cut you. They have to let you play. They could cut you. You'd be pretty bad if they're like, look, we think you're good, but Jesus does not think you're that good. He is our captain. So, church ball was a lot different because we played half court, no three-point line. We played on carpet. That's your first sign. It's not going to count. And they didn't even give us a basketball. We didn't have a basketball. We would just stand there and play on honesty. You'd be like, I just made it. It was like, oh, that's a good shot. You're really good. I stole it. I forgive you for stealing it. It was moral points. It counts later. Are y'all gonna go watch the Nathan's hot dog eating contest? Did everybody get their tickets for that? It's exciting. I think it's free anyway, but I remember the first time I saw the hot dog eating contest. The first time I saw it, you would see a lot of skinny people, and then they would show like a huge fat guy. So I was like, all right, you know, obviously he is gonna win. He probably ate on the way here. But he does not win. Kobayashi or Joey Chestnut, two very in-shape guys. So that means fat people are not even good at what they're good at. Who would have thought? Huh? Who would have? I'm married, and that is whatever, but you do it. You know what marriage is like? Marriage is like you ever go to a concert and you see a mosh pit, and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna go get in that mosh pit. But then once you get in it, you're like, I do not want to be in this mosh pit. At all. I am gonna leave and go get some beer. Then the mosh pit's like, hey, you drank last night. You're like, all right, mosh pit, why don't you get off my back and let me live my life. I grew up in Tennessee, and we went to church. I tried to play basketball for my high school team, but I got cut. So I had to play for my church because the church cannot cut you. They have to let you play. They could cut you. You'd be pretty bad if they're like, look, we think you're good, but Jesus does not think you're that good. He is our captain. So, church ball was a lot different because we played half court, no three-point line. We played on carpet. That's your first sign. It's not going to count. And they didn't even give us a basketball. We didn't have a basketball. We would just stand there and play on honesty. You'd be like, I just made it. It was like, oh, that's a good shot. You're really good. I stole it. I forgive you for stealing it. It was moral points. Counts later. Are y'all gonna go watch the Nathan's hot dog eating contest? Did everybody get their tickets for that? It's exciting. I think it's free anyway, but I remember the first time I saw the hot dog eating contest. The first time I saw it, you would see a lot of skinny people, and then they would show like a huge fat guy. So I was like, all right, you know, obviously he is gonna win. He probably ate on the way here. But he does not win. Kobayashi or Joey Chestnut, two very in-shape guys. So that means fat people are not even good at what they're good at. Who would have thought? Huh? Who would have? I'm married, and that is whatever, but you do it. You know what marriage is like? Marriage is like you ever go to a concert and you see a mosh pit, and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna go get in that mosh pit. But then once you get in it, you're like, I do not want to be in this mosh pit. At all. I am gonna leave and go get some beer. Then the mosh pit's like, hey, you drank last night. You're like, all right, mosh pit, why don't you get off my back and let me live my life.